And finally, for a small band of soldiers during the Great War, England's highest peak was the image of home that they clung to in the darkest of days. Like millions of others, the people of the Lake District had answered the call to fight in the fields of France. So when at the end of the war, Scafell Pike was gifted to the nation, a memorial was built on top to those from the area who never returned. Now, a century on, volunteers have returned to the peak to secure their memory for the future.
Battered over a century, the foundations of this cairn are crumbling. It is the highest war memorial in England, but repairing it presents a challenge because it stands on the summit of Scafell Pike.
1, 2, 3.
Every tool for this job has to be carried up,
Everyone happy?
one by one, inch by inch. And commuting to the office here means conquering England's tallest mountain. So, how high is Scafell Pike?
977 metres.
All right. It's been painstaking work, but now the final stones have been laid.
It's taken us about 6 days in all to rebuild the cairn right from the bottom. And it's taken about 10 National Trust rangers.
You've been up here for almost a week.
We camped out for four nights last week, and a few of the lads have camped out for 2 nights this week.
Scafell Pike was given to the National Trust at the end of the Great War, the cairn built in memory of those soldiers who once enjoyed the freedom of this land.
There's diary entries and letters from some of the men who lost their lives in the First World War who talk about this mountain and these valleys around here. It was some of the reasons that they were fighting, some of the things that were getting them through the darkest days, and it's an absolute privilege for my team and myself to be involved in recommemorating this mountain.
George Sansom was one of those who wrote about Scafell Pike while fighting in the Great War. His granddaughter still has his old diaries.
Which consists of a magnificent rock face, nearly vertical for about 85 feet.
Sansom was one of 78 members of Britain's Fell and Rock Climbing Club who went away to fight. 20 never returned to the hills they loved.
I think that it's important memorials like that are restored. They're a memory of what people went through. They're a memory of people's courage. I think if he thought that the war memorial was going to be restored and that men were actually camping out, he'd have wanted to be one of them and join them, be up there with them.
Those who have repaired the cairn hope this work honours their predecessors on this mountain. A restored memorial that now stands proud, watching from the heavens over a land for which so many made the ultimate sacrifice. Peter Smith, News at 10, Scafell Pike.
Just a quick look at what's coming up this weekend. On Sunday, a service will be held to mark a year since 8 people were killed in the London Bridge terror attack. There'll also be a minute's silence to remember those who died. Tomorrow there'll be gun salutes at the Tower of London and Green Park to mark 65 years since the Queen's coronation in Westminster Abbey. She herself will be at Epsom for one of the highlights of the racing season, the Derby. Saxon Warrior is the favourite for tomorrow's race as he chases down the Triple Crown. Julie's here with news at 10 on Monday, but for now, from all of us here, a very good weekend to you. Good night.